Hey guys, welcome to another episode about Android programming. So in previous episode I showed you how to connect your Android device with some other devices like PC or microcontrollers. But in this episode I am going to teach you how to connect two Android devices with one another. And it's strongly recommended for you to watch my previous episode because these two procedures are a little bit different. And you don't have to worry, I'm going to explain everything in details. So what this project is about? First, let me show you my Android manifest. You have to make sure that you have these two user permissions, so Bluetooth Connect and Bluetooth Scan. And later on, when you install this application, you would have to give it these two permissions to your application manually, because I'm not going to deal with that piece of code now. And next, I'm going to show you Android main. This is how our activity is going to look like. We are going to have one edit text and two text views. These text views are going to serve as buttons. So when we finish with coding, I'm going to test this project with two Android phones. With first one, I'm going to click on Act as Server, and on second one, I'm going to type some text into this edit box, and I'm going to click on Send Message. And message from this edit text is going to send to our first Android phone by using Bluetooth connection. So as you see, this project has no practical purpose. It could only serve you for education. So in this case, you are going to see how to set up a Bluetooth connection, both from server side and from client side. And now open your main activity, and now we are going to deal with the coding. Make some space. And first I'm going to deal with my design. So I'm going to create edit text, call it message. Then text view, call it send message. Then text view, call it act as server. And now we are going to create variables that are going to be used for actual connection. So first it's private variable Bluetooth adapter, call it BA. Another, it's private set for type Bluetooth device, call it paired. And I have to import this set, import class. Now it's fine. So as you guess, both of devices that are going to be used for this example are already paired. And in this set, we are going to store the list of paired devices. Next variable that we need is private Bluetooth device, call it other device. Then I need private Bluetooth socket, call it sock. And I need private Bluetooth server socket, call it server. Alright, so remove some empty spaces if you have too many, make more space in here. Alright, so first we are going to reference our design variables. So message, find you by ID, RID, message, I named it message. Now send message, find you by ID, RID dot connect, find and final, act as server, find you by ID, RID, listening. Alright, I need one context variable. Okay, call it context, and it's going to be equal to this. So why we actually need this context? So later on we are going to deal with a view on click listener, and in one of functions that we are going to use in it, we would have to provide activity context. But in that case, we cannot use keyword this, because that keyword is going to refer to onClick listener, not to activity context. So in this way, we have created one that is going to be used later. and I'm going to use BA is going to be Bluetooth adapter get default adapter. So our variable BA is going to store our default Bluetooth adapter. All right. And first I'm going to create an on-click listener for send message. So send message, set on click listener, new on click listener. All right, make some space because we are going to do a lot of coding in here. So first that we have to check, it's if BA it's enabled, rather if it's not enabled, we are going to return. So if our Bluetooth adapter is not enabled, nothing is going to happen. We are going to stop with execution. But else, if BA is in discovery mode, rather not in discovery mode, okay, we are going to start discovery. Start discovery. Okay, and now we have to add that function I've been talking about. Add permission check. We are going to remove all of this because we don't need it. And in here we have that this keyword that is referring to a wrong object. So in here I'm just going to provide context, meaning final context that I've created in here. Okay, let's continue. Now I'm going to use my set paired to get set of bonded devices, and now I have to iterate through this set with for loop Bluetooth device, call it A in paired open curly brackets. Now if A get name to string equals Moto G41, I'm going to assign A to my prepared variable other device, and we are going to assign A to it, and we are going to break out. So what this part is about, I'm going to use my Motorola G41 as server. So from client side, I'm going to check all of bonded devices. And when I find one with the name of Moto G41, that means that I have found my phone. I'm going to make reference of this device, and I'm going to break out because we don't have to iterate anymore. When that is done, I'm going to use a Bluetooth adapter to cancel discovery. So this part is done. And now we are going to deal with actual connection. For that, on client side, we have to create socket first by using device dot create this one. Create insecure RF-COM socket to service record. Alright, and now we have to provide UUID, and we are going to do that by using UUID from string, and I'm going to provide string now, 8 zeros, now 3 times 4 zeros, and once 12 characters. And final character I'm going to set to be 1. Okay, so now what about this part? UUID serves as unique identifier for your application. So when we try to connect two Android phones, we are not dealing with actual port number, but we are dealing with UUID. And in this way, from string, you are going to provide UUID with 32 hexadecimal characters. But what is truly important to know, in order to make communication, you actually need this number to be the same on both sides. In this first part, we are setting UUID from client side, and later on we are going to use exact the same number for server side. And I'm going to deal with this error. let me see, surround with try catch. Okay, that's totally fine. Rest we are going to put in try catch, and we are going to establish actual connections. So first I'm going to ask if sock is connected, not, then we are going to connect it. And now, because client deals only with sending message, we are going to create output stream, call it out, and we are going to get it from our socket. Now we are going to create a string, call it mess, yeah, funny name, from our edit text message, get text to string, and now I'm going to create byte content out of this string. So I'm going to create byte data from mess get bytes, and finally we are going to write our message out write data from 0 to data length. Now we are going to flush this socket out flush. We are going to set our edit text content to nothing, and this is important part, our thread is going to sleep for 1000 milliseconds, and I'm going to add this to catch statement. So actually, why we need this thread sleep statement? And I'm going to change from 10 seconds to 1 second. That is because next part is going to be socket close. I'm going to remove this empty space. If we send message without this pause, it could happen that we execute socket close, effectively breaking connection before other side could read from it. And I'm going to remove these empty spaces. Now I'm going to copy all of this. Let me see, where is the end? Oh, it's here. Copy, and we are going to do with on-click listener for another button, act as server. So now we are dealing with server side, and now we are going to remove this part because we don't need to list pair devices. And in here, first I'm going to create server, and server is going to be created from Bluetooth adapter, listening using insecure RF COM with service record. You have to match these functions both on client and server side. So here we are using listening using insecure RF COM with service record, and on client side we are using create unsecure RF COM socket to service record. And in here, first argument, it's a name of our connection. I'm going to call it small app, and second argument, it's UUID. I'm going to copy this one because we have to match UUID from both sides, and in this way our server is created. Now we are going to create socket from this server. Socket is going to be server accept. So this socket is going to be created when our server accept connection from our client. Okay, and we don't need this part from our client side. We also don't need this connection statement, and instead of output stream we need input stream because we are reading incoming communication. Input stream, call it in socket get input stream. We don't need this part. In data we are going to create empty byte array, 1 kilobyte, it's just fine. Then we are going to read incoming message, in read into data from 0, data length is fine, and we are going to set text into our edit text. So we are going to set text to new string created from data encoded with UTF-8. And this part is fine. Thread sleep of 1000 milliseconds and socket close. So finally our coding is done. So now I'm going to connect my phones in order to install this application, and then we are going to proceed to testing. Okay, my Moto G41 is connected and I'm going to run this code. And finally, after more than 2 minutes, my application is compiled and running. And now I'm going to connect my second phone. Okay, now my Samsung phone is connected and I'm going to upload this code. Alright, everything is up and running, and now we are going to perform test. I'm going to close my Android Studio. So first thing that you should check before proceeding to test is that this application on both of your devices has appropriate permissions. Second thing that you should check is that Bluetooth is enabled on both devices. And of course, third thing, that these two devices are paired with one another. Now on my Motorola Moto G41 I'm going to click on Act as Server, and on my Samsung phone I'm going to type something like hey, how are you? Okay, and I'm going to click on Send Message. And finally, everything is perfect. So guys, I hope that you have learned something interesting, so please like, subscribe, and see ya!